Welcome to the O.V.G.C podcast. This is episode 1. This is the online video game club. We host a game of the month every month. My name is Zane, and then my two guest hosts here are Willow, or Matt, and
Hello.
Jeff, SD Convoy.
Hello.
We are just finishing up September, and we're about to have a discussion right now, I hope, about our previous game of the month, which was X-Men Mutant Apocalypse for the Super Nintendo. Just recently, Jeff and I finished it. However, we cheated to beat it.
Dirty cheaters.
Yeah, so
Dude, I don't know how you would without cheating. I played it for like 10 minutes and I was like, yeah, I've had enough of this.
it was hard. It was a lot harder than I thought it was. I went to eBay and I bought a physical copy thinking that I could just grind on it. And I did. I tried for 2 days and I couldn't do it. And then, that was kind of
Yep.
the end of the story on that one.
I almost bought the game at Chaotic when we chose that as the game of the month. And then while I was at the store, I was looking at the cartridge. I pulled up my Game Eye app and then I was checking my collection just to see. Sure enough, I had it. So
That's
nope,
awesome.
headed back home.
At least you're smart enough to put your collection onto something. My brother still hasn't done that, and he has a ton of like Xbox games, and we'll go to game stores and we'll repurchase them.
Oof.
That sucks when you
That's
get home and you've got a second copy already and you're like, oh.
Right? That's the trouble with collecting.
that's why I started with the Game Eye app because it happened to me way too many times.
I still need to finish filling out a lot of mine. I've done that. I bought Star Ocean, the second story for the PS1 3 times. And I should know better by now.
Hey, fourth time's the charm.
No, I don't want it again. But I want to hear more about what you thought, Matt, because Jeff and I played it together, and I'll talk more about how we did it, how we went through it in a second. But I want to hear more about what you thought about it. Did you also end up like save state beating it or anything, or just gave up?
No. Yeah, I gave up pretty fast on it. Like, especially when they started like when one of the other members found the manual for the game and you had to do like key combinations. That's like it got way more intense, especially since like all the mutants, you couldn't use their mutant powers just by default. You could just whoop people's ass
Yeah.
as
Oh,
you got
okay.
yours whipped. And it's like it was just really interesting. It definitely increased the difficulty. And then they had the other mode where it would just work. It was like the practice mode,
Uh-huh.
and it just did everything for you in a way made way more sense.
Right.
I don't
And
think I even tried the practice mode. What was the deal with that?
It just automatically used like the mutant powers. Like all the combos would just sometimes happen. I don't know
Oh,
if it was
just while you were like mashing attack.
yeah, and it would just do
Okay.
it. Like
Wow.
Cyclops
Okay.
would do like the laser beam and stuff. I forgot. I think I only played like as Cyclops as uh Nightcrawler, the
no,
blue guy. I forgot his name.
Beast.
Beast.
Yeah,
Like
it
Beast made
was.
sense because you were already Beast. I don't think you can really turn that one off.
It was Cyclops, Beast, Gambit, Psylocke, and Wolverine were the playable characters.
Okay, I did Wolverine too. I pretty much just like picked the other mutants where like their default powers were kind of just on,
Uh-huh.
but I'm feeling that there's probably a lot of combos that I missed.
Speaking of the combos, Jeff, you figured out that they were all just Street Fighter combos, right?
Like, yeah, the special moves. Most of them were just the quarter circle forward attack. Hadouken motion. There were a couple of the anti-air kind of dragon punch motions. I think Wolverine had one. That's when we used to fight Magneto.
Didn't did Beast had the forward like Honda like headbutt thing
Oh
going on
yeah,
too.
I think that's right.
Yeah, they weren't they were inspired, but they weren't too hard to get off. I think I
It was a
remember.
Capcom game, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so
Correct.
they just cheated. They just pulled in old code.
Yeah, why not? The sprites were big enough to be Street Fighter sprites. I'm sure at that point they were like, "Oh my gosh, guys, what if we put the X-Men against Street Fighter characters. Whoa, like blow your mind type stuff. Um, it, I felt like when we kept beating our heads against the wall trying to actually finish a stage, when it came down to the end fight, if you didn't fight that boss or encounter that boss at least one time, beating it would be nearly impossible, like to do in a single go. You'd have to get completely lucky, because I think for the most part characters took 10 hits and you were dead. That was kind of it. And some characters hit, some enemies hit harder than others. I know we made it to like a mid-stage boss fight a couple times on the Wolverine and Psylocke stages. But just popping into Game Genie, getting through it was way more cathartic than just save stating and trying again and again and again. I was just like, I was ready to finish it once we did that.
Made it
I
actually
was
possible.
I was really surprised that the game forced you to wait until you cleared all of the first stages before it gave you a single password.
Oh,
Like after you got past that point, it would seem to give out passwords more often. You're like, okay, I could at least write down these passwords and start from this point. But to get past those entire first 5 stages all in one go, that's rough, man.
yeah, absolutely.
So the game was a 2-time checkout at Blockbusters.
Yeah, I could see myself as a kid maybe finishing a stage and being like, okay, yeah, I got one done, I got this done, I got that done, and then like shutting it off and coming back to it and then being like, okay, I know how to beat this stage, and then I finish this stage, and once I do that, okay, I'm done with these 5 stages. And then you get rewarded the password so you can start midway again and be like, oh, okay, now I know there's a password system and I can just mess with that, which is what I used to do with the Tiny Toons Adventures game. Where I would just input random images until I got a stage I wanted.
Hey man, that works.
Was this before GameFAQs?
Yeah, it would just pick images until you got the final stage. That's how we did it. And this game also uses images for its password, which I think is just each of the X-Men plus Magneto and Xavier, if I remember.
That sounds right.
I'd have to trust yours because I never saw passwords.
Yeah. I think it was just like, here's 5 heads of characters, put them in. It was not a game that I would say I would ever go back to, or recommend. Thank you, John, for recommending this one this month, or getting this one this month, or
Yeah, I'm not gonna put this one on my personal buy list. No, I mean I have it, but like if I was like, gonna recommend to someone else, no, don't put it in your collection.
like,
Unless you really, really, really either like Capcom games or really, really, really like X-Men games.
I think that there were some enemy bits that were a little cheaty, but otherwise, like the combat for playing the characters felt good. It was quick responding. I think once you got used to some of the combos, it was a lot easier. And then but the final boss fight with Magneto was just cheesing it as Wolverine. Walk into a corner, walk back, do your Shoryuken, and then walk back. That was it the whole time. So, and it's just
I wonder how the game would have like played out if they didn't lock it behind those combos. Like, there's definitely enough buttons on a SNES controller to have done basic stuff.
right. Hold L,
Yep.
push Y for forward thrust, whatever
Yeah.
it is. Yeah.
Agreed.
I don't know if I got much more to say about this one. I think I'm ready to like stuff that one in the back of the shelf and call it a session on that one. It was a
Same.
good month. It was fun figuring it out and sitting down and being like, all right, how do we beat this one? And I'm glad I'm done with it.
It happened, never again.
Yeah, we don't talk about X-Men Apocalypse anymore. So with that though, we also wrap up our first quarterly game, which is Harvest Moon for the Super Nintendo. If anybody has played it yet, I've played some of it. I had it on so I remember I was discussing playing it on my original hardware with the actual game, the internal battery's dead, so it deleted everything I had. So
Oof.
I had to switch to the Nintendo Switch, and I didn't get very far on that with other stuff going on. But I do plan to commit more time to it when I get a chance. So even though it's past our quarterly and we're going to pick our next quarterly, I'm still going to try and put at least some effort into it, considering it was the game that I suggested for our quarterly. Even though our quarterly this time was only a month and a half short, we did have a few people complete it. Because it's just a 3-year run, and to finish everything in the Super Nintendo Harvest Moon, it's just getting married, essentially, and you can do that within the second year. So, second year, sleep for the rest of your life, be done with it.
I always felt bad doing that in those Harvest Moon games. I didn't play this one. I actually do have the same as you with the original hardware and everything, but it's kind of like getting risky to like play cartridge-based stuff now these days, especially since there's so many times you could like use it before it gets like scratched or damaged, especially with such an expensive game.
Yeah,
It's crazy how much Harvest Moon is going for.
I'm really sad that mine has a problem. Now I've got to get it fixed.
Well, bring it over next time and I can fix it for you. I
Hey,
got
I
batteries
will.
and everything. We'll
I'll
see what
have
we
to
can
do
do.
that. Did
Oh,
you
but a
spend
solid
any
game.
time with it, Jeff?
No.
Did you look at it?
It was on the Super Nintendo Switch Online, right?
Yes.
Yeah, no, I didn't spend much time.
And they made it portable and everything. You could have just played it in bed.
I know.
That's okay. We did have one of our regulars seasons. He beat it quite a bit. He likes to 100% everything, so he really whomped on it.
That's impressive. I don't think I have the patience to like 100% any of those Harvest Moon or Story of Seasons. Like I'll get married and I'll be like, all right, cool, beat the game.
Yeah,
Time for something else,
that's what you do in real life too, right, Matt?
right? No, that's just how it works. I got married, so
You're like, oh, it's
like, is
over.
that I can sleep forever
You win.
now?
Yeah, you just go lay in
It's
bed
just-
forever.
Just this forever now.
Oh, it's a beautiful thing.
Excuse me. Yeah, so I don't really have too much more to say about Harvest Moon. Unfortunately, I didn't get to spend too much time with it. But
Also Harvest Moon.
I do like Harvest Moon. It's one of my favorite game series out there. I did play the PS1 and N64 games to death, and I can see myself spending a lot of time on this and not cheesing it if I can help it. But
How do you cheese a Harvest Moon
so
game?
in Harvest Moon for the Super Nintendo, you can get tired at night, but it doesn't make you fall asleep, and then you wake up in your house like in Back to Nature does and stuff. Instead, you get tired, you can't do any more work, so you would go to bed to rest. But there's a hot spring you can just go into a few times, use that, freshen up, jump out, and you're all good. And you just keep working the whole night. That's all you can do.
Be a machine.
You're right, but you can't keep selling product though at night, because if you sell product after the guys come, it just goes away if you go to sleep the next day. If I'm right.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah, so you only have a certain window to sell stuff.
Huh. I feel like I've lost a lot of produce then. 'Cause I'm pretty sure I've sold after 5.
Yeah, you can't do that. I'm pretty sure you can't
Well.
do that, if I remember right. But
That only hurts a lot.
so with that, those are our 2 games that we're talking about for September, the end of September anyway, and we're going to go on to making our choice for our classic game of the month and our last quarterly game for this season, which is through October through December. Do we want to pick... Which one do we want to go with first? Classic first or the quarterly first?
Let's do
Let's do the quarterly first.
I
Oh,
was
hey.
Ooh, well done.
I was thinking the same thing. Okay, so
This finally be the time I play Chrono Trigger.
it could be. I may
So
end
what
up
would-
making you play Morrowind.
What were the
I
choices
played
here?
Morrowind.
Okay, so we're gonna start with so the Elder Scrolls 3, Morrowind. That's my choice.
Okay, I dig
There,
it.
the next one is Chrono Trigger. Recommended by Matt several times.
Do we have to
Yeah,
play a
just
certain
keep doing it,
version?
it'll work one time.
Do you have a version requirement? DS, Super Nintendo?
I mean, it's all the same thing.
The
I don't
DS
think there's
one
like really.
records. The DS one records all the endings in it.
What's the cheapest?
None
Piracy.
of them.
Well, actually, DS.
They're both really expensive, but I think the DS one is
Dang
a little
it.
cheaper.
Couple $100 cheaper.
I've been wanting to do this stuff like mostly on hardware, but yeah, I don't think I'm going to be able to do the SNES version.
Yeah.
Whatever
yeah.
version that we get, but I have SNES in the suggestions, so. But if they have DS, we'll just say it works.
My hacked DS, I can make that happen.
Then there's Fable. If y'all
Ooh.
remember Fable from Lionhead.
Oh, dude, I love
Oh,
Fable.
the
I'm excited
OG
for
one?
the new one.
Yep.
Was the OG one on the original Xbox?
Yes, it's on the
Yeah.
original
Okay.
Xbox. It's also on PC in a collection, but I
Okay.
wouldn't play the PC one. I hear it's not that great, but it probably works well for what it is. Honestly, I think it had something to do with the keyboard controllers not adapting or wide monitors or something like that.
You're making me pull up my
Good
Steam
thing I play with a
library now.
controller.
Check it out. Yeah, I only play with controllers
that
on
on the
PC
deck,
if
man.
I can help it, unless it's Baldur's Gate 3. That's all. That's all mouse.
I switch in between that.
Really?
I have
Yeah, on the controller, there's like better like finding buttons, like where you can do like that perimeter check thing.
Oh wow.
It's like different on PC. PC expects you to be able to see it and click it, but with the controller, you can do like a proximity thing, and it just tells you what's in there.
Jeff, you were gonna say something?
I've got Anniversary on the PC.
Oh, okay. So you do have it already. Okay, great.
Nice.
I have it on the original Xbox. I don't know if I want to play it on the original Xbox, but it would probably be the way I would do it. I have a.
How
I
was the
haven't-
performance on that one?
Load times are long. Otherwise, it plays well.
Okay.
I mean, it's the original Xbox. Got that.
Of course.
I
IDE
just want to see the
drive.
little goopy middle thing happen again. After Fable, we have Final Fantasy VI. Super
Nice.
Nintendo originally. I think the Game Boy Advance version is superior, honestly.
Is that why there's an any next to that one?
Yeah, I put that there purposely because it actually Final Fantasy VI is on a ton of systems. So
How's the HD 2D remake?
I've not checked it out actually. I had heard that it wasn't very good initially.
Okay.
Did it come in that like expensive bundle that they did,
Something.
like which sold out instantly on the Switch?
I believe so.
I think it suffered from them retranslating it, and then it was very bad. If I remember right, there was a huge up like people were really mad about the retranslation of Final Fantasy VI because Kefka didn't sound as crazy as he used to in the OG one.
Why would they take the time to retranslate it if it's already been translated?
I have no idea. I assume it has something to do with some sort of legalese that I'm unaware of. It's like them retranslating the Evangelion series for Netflix. It's like the
I didn't even know they
Viz
did that.
version was perfect. Why would you do this? Have either of you played 6 through?
I've
I've
started
had-
it so many times.
Yeah.
I've played Final Fantasy games. I don't think I've beaten a single one. Like I'll get to like I played 9. I got to like the third disc of it, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm done."
And I quit.
And I did the same thing for 7, and then what I really like that they added in new modern RPGs, especially Final Fantasy, is the like the quest thing, like what you were trying to do. Because I tried to pick up my save data for 7, and it's like I don't know where I am. I don't know what I did.
Yeah.
It was pretty much just like if I don't start over, I can't play this game anymore.
I mean, if we do get 6, it is definitely one of the best Final Fantasies to go through. But it is also long. It is very long. It's probably longer than 7 and 9, in my opinion.
That's
And
why
that
I've
was
never
on the
finished
SNES
it.
first.
Yeah.
That's
Next up
impressive.
is Fire Emblem: The Genealogy of the Holy War.
Hmm?
And I'm pretty sure this is the second Fire Emblem game. I'm gonna,
Now you're making me pick up Wikipedia here.
yeah, I'm doing that exactly too. Fire. Okay. Anybody who gets it first, just go on.
Yeah, it looks like Super Famicom.
Yeah.
Came out in '96.
Okay.
Is this even translated?
Fourth installment.
No, this is not translated, but there should be a fan translation we can pick up pretty easily.
Okay.
Nice.
Let me see if there's a repro cart of the fan translation.
Dum, dum, dum.
Time to really utilize that pocket.
Oh yeah, definitely. Um, a follow-up title of Thracia 776. No, that's not right. Dum, 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 dum. Synopsis.
Pardon our commercial break as we figure out the
Yeah.
whole lineage of Fire Emblem.
Yeah. Let me just go through the entirety of every Fire Emblem game really quick here and figure out which one is Genealogy of the Holy War.
That's good use of our
Oh.
time.
I'm
You
trying
drag your
to.
characters, then you fight stuff.
I mean, someone's got the fan translation on Etsy for like $23.
Does that include the cart, or am I paying $23 for a ROM?
No, for an actual like physical cart.
Okay, that's actually a pretty good deal.
Well, that's not bad.
I'd pay $23. Because even then, if you don't like it, you can just read right over the cart.
Okay, it is Sigurd. Okay, I was trying to remember which of the main character was Sigurd. He's the Holy Knight, the one with the horse and stuff. If you've played the new Fire Emblem game, he's one of the first emblems you get in the game.
I think the last Fire Emblem I played was Awakening, dude.
Perfect. This you'll fit right in. I've played every Fire Emblem game that's been English translated. I have not beat either of the ones with Ike in them, but I would like to do them again sometime. So if this one gets picked,
Maybe you should
I'm
take
excited
this
to
one.
try this one.
Me too.
Next up is Fallout 1.
Oh, jeez.
The Steam version works great if you've played it. If you
Nice.
have Windows 95, I think you could also play it pretty well too.
I think I actually just picked that up in a Humble Bundle.
Did you? I
I swear I did.
I got on the hype from the Fallout TV series and I picked it up because
Yeah.
so I already owned the disc for it, but I cannot find it. I think I have it stored somewhere in my basement. But the disc version would not work the same way as the Steam version, which slows down the time frame it takes to go from your home to picking up the water chip for clean water, because you only have so many days, and if you don't have like your PC runs too fast because it runs off your processor or something like that, and if your PC runs too fast, it'll just end the game. Like you'll fail the
Those
quest.
classic-
Yeah, you fail the main quest because you ran it. It ends too fast.
So it like
was a Lego
ties the
game with the
game
same
time
issue,
to
right?
like your CPU frequency? That's crazy.
Yeah, I don't know why
They did
did
that
it
for a lot
way.
of those older games. It was
Did
just
they?
like a constant clock you could use. Yeah, people would just use it for like movement and stuff because there was a similar issue with like that Lego game where like movement and like your ability to spin was tied to your processing speed because it was a constant clock value.
Oh wow. Okay.
So all of them were pretty much the same back then. So they're like, oh, we can just use this. And then you get to the new modern age PCs and you're spinning real fast.
That's awesome. Which Lego game? Lego Island?
Yeah, I think it was that Lego Island one.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh.
the OG one. Nice.
And people actually patched it for you could play it again.
Wow. That's awesome. I kind of want to play Lego Island now. Multiplayer Lego Island O.V.G.C. Everybody get on.
I might have to put that as my next like monthly game next month.
Oh shoot.
Lego Island. Wait, are PC games even allowed though?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they'd be the easiest for us to get.
I could also argue, you already had Xbox. Xbox was just a Windows PC.
This is true.
with a
This is true.
Controller.
you can just put it on the Xbox. So I already started Fallout 1, so I'm past the intro, so I'm already good to go if that one gets picked. I'm just gonna get going on that one just to start.
But that's not in the spirit, Zane. You got to start from the
I'm
beginning.
sorry, you're right.
That's not the beginning.
I'll start from the beginning. I promise.
Oh, whoa, wait, what was that?
That was a peace sign.
Oh, nice. Look kind of twisted.
No. And then finally is Golden Sun. It's been a long time since I played Golden Sun. I look forward to doing it again if this gets chosen to.
That version of Golden Sun has been the only version of Golden Sun I've ever like played. And it was for like 5 minutes. I don't remember how I got it, but I played it and I was like, I don't care for this.
Oh,
And
it
then I was
takes a
done.
while to get through the first part of it. It's got a pretty slow start.
Oh, I guess we'll have to see how it goes this time.
I recently picked up the OG card of that, so yeah, I'd like to play it on my analog pocket if we can.
Those are probably going for not too bad of a price right now, like 40, 50, or
The
I
pockets?
forgot.
Or are you talking about Golden Sun?
no, not Pocket. Golden Sun.
Oh, okay.
So I remember
I
Golden Sun not being like super popular.
I want to say you can probably get it 30 to 40 bucks.
I'm sure at this point it's probably that inexpensive because it was actually pretty well known.
It's on the Switch Online service too, I think.
Oh, okay. I think yes. Okay. Well, that would make it
I'll
easier
be
to access
surprised.
at least. All right, you guys, you ready to spin and see what we get for our quarterly?
Let's do it.
Spin that spinner. Do the
Oh
drum.
man. All
Oh
right.
boy.
Fire Emblem Genealogy of the Holy War is our
Awesome.
quarterly
Awesome.
game. Excellent. All right, I'm excited to
We're gonna
get
have
this
to
one working.
gift everyone that Etsy thing that Jeff found.
And purchased. There we go.
Done. It's done. Bam.
You'll get that in 2 weeks.
Dang it. Hey,
Oh,
this is
shoot.
quarterly. I can wait a few weeks.
Exactly.
Oh, I can add it right
Or,
now.
order today to get by October 15th through 16th.
Oh, I was only joking about the 2 weeks. That's actually legitimate.
I'm gonna try it, you guys. I'm gonna try it.
All right, do it.
Uh, So we know on this podcast that today on September 30th, Jeff bought the Etsy version. Let's see when it shows up.
Apparently, I don't know how to spell
Let's
genealogy.
see if the. Oh shoot! Shipping's now it's 38 bucks with shipping. Never mind. Hold on. I'm backing
You
this
can
up.
just throw that in an envelope. Just look at a stamp on that. Be like, Godspeed,
Yeah,
man.
don't charge me that much. Never mind. I'm gonna look for something else.
Oh, it's an A.
I'm gonna download the patch myself.
SNES
Bam.
flash card.
Oh, is
Zane,
this
you
your
have a
time
flash
to
card,
invest
right?
in EverDrive?
Which flash card? I have one for
SNES.
No, I got one for the 64.
Okay.
Is
See,
it the EverDrive?
I always get hung up on the SNES flash cards because I don't know if I want something that can support like all the Super FX chips and all the fancy stuff. Those are so much more expensive.
Gotcha.
Get an EverDrive. How many times can I say EverDrive?
Well, mine's an EverDrive for the. I mean, the EverDrive is
The-
kind of a flash card, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It's like the best thing. I think it's like the leading supreme for like any flash cart.
Gotcha. I love it. I like mine. It runs really well.
59 for a Super EverDrive X5. I'll look into it.
Well, you got
Yeah.
options. And if you have
I'm glad that was the choice for this month or for this quarter.
it can be fun.
I've only played the more recent Fire Emblem games, so it'll be kind of interesting to see how the old ones were.
Probably very similar.
I. Have you ever
Without
played,
as much of the like relationship system, maybe. Or,
Have you ever
or do they have
played-
that still?
It does still have that. They've always had the relationship
It
system.
does.
Oh, cool.
Huh.
It's
I
just
thought it was
not
only
as.
for Awakening.
It's just not as like. It's not as easy to build relationships in the older ones. You have to fight. You have to end the character's turn next to the other character in order to build a relationship.
Ooh.
And then you don't even know if it's happening in the older ones because they don't show little hearts above their heads and stuff, you know. So
They don't show you every single statistic for every single character.
unfortunately, and I believe in order to tell if like I think it wasn't until after the second game when they started showing you like which characters' attack stats were better than the other one until you went to fight them and stuff. Yeah, there's like there in the older games there used to be a way to view complex stats and then a way to view simplified stats. And honestly, what's the point of having both when you should just do the simplified stats?
Hey, man. Some people really want to grind that math.
So next is the exciting spooky month of October, our game of the month for this one. Everybody kind of tried to pick a spooky theme or a scary theme or something like that. Except for one is not a spooky game. That's Champions of Norath. isometric looter, kind of Diablo-esque, I believe. Champions of Norath.
Oh, you say it's like Diablo. That could be spooky.
More like Gauntlet, like the Gauntlet Legends, I believe.
Spooky adjacent.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
I mean, Gauntlet is spooky. I don't know if Champions of Norath is. But that's that one. I think it's also on the GameCube, or was it only on the PS2? I don't
I haven't
remember.
heard of it, so.
I think it's like D&D inspired.
Looks like it just says PlayStation 2.
Okay, so Champions of Norath PS2. I think I own it, actually.
Ubisoft. You just get up to go see if you can find it.
I did. Ha!
Oh, well, hey.
Look at that. I already have it. Bam. I don't know. There's scary shit on there.
It's spoopy. It's perfect.
It's perfect.
See, that's spooky adjacent.
It'll work. I'm excited to play it if it gets chosen, even if it's not spooky.
We'll just have to pretend it's spoopy.
Yeah, I'm okay with. I'll scream at everything. It doesn't matter. I'm absolutely terrified of anything.
Every time you just start, just scream. Hear the PlayStation sound, scream.
Every time my alarm goes off in the morning, I scream. Claire hates it.
Oh.
That's what it sounds like. So my first choice that I picked for our spooky month was Splatterhouse for the TurboGrafx 16. Like the original horror genre game, I think. Because the TurboGrafx is around...
This one.
What's that?
It's this one. I know what this is.
Yeah. It'd be nice if I had somebody like playing video or something on a screen who could like pump it up or something. We'll have to try and do that next time. Every time we do a talk about a game, have somebody like pull up footage.
Can I do a screen share on mine or a window share?
Oh yeah, sure, go for it.
Here, let me just start. I'll do some mute and do some just game footage of some of these.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
All right, Splatterhouse TGFX. Or yeah, TG16.
The Pocket can support the TurboGrafx stuff, right?
I believe so.
I'm not
I
sure.
think that'd be pretty cool to do. Let's see. But then I'd have to pay a ton of money in their shipping to get it here. Yeah, it does.
I don't even think TurboGrafx, like the systems, are that expensive, are they?
The Analog
they're starting to
Pocket
get
has
there.
a turbo card adapter, doesn't it? Or
It does. For $100 you get that and the
shit.
Neo Geo and the Atari Lynx adapter. And I already have the Game Gear adapter.
how
Except
much is
when you go ahead-
Splatterhouse on the TG16?
That's expensive. Splatterhouse is like one of like the sought after TurboGrafx games.
Let's see what eBay says.
Last time I played it, I almost kind of would like to just play it with save states.
Oof.
I played it at Jeff's place. We were messing with it together because I was like, I really want to play Splatterhouse. I want to try this game out.
Was that on the
And
Mister?
yeah, we played it on your Mister, and it worked really well. I think though that the game kind of had this weird idea of difficulty where it would throw stuff at you, but a lot of times the enemies and objects and stuff it would throw at you would appear behind you as you're scrolling because it's a side-scrolling game. And as you were scrolling, those things would appear behind you, but they wouldn't do anything to you. It was like, okay, it's just kind of to scare you or something. And then there was like branching paths in it too. And so you could pick a different route by playing it. If you played it through it a couple times, you could pick different routes to beat it. And the boss fights were always the one thing that was just like a Hail Mary of, boy, I hope I don't get hit at this point because this game's throwing random crap at me. There was literally one fight I did where it was just like I hit the enemy like 2 or 3 times or something like that, and it never got a single attack off at me, and it just died. And I was like, okay, Splatterhouse.
Move forward.
Yeah.
So they are pretty pricey. If you're going for like complete collection things, it looks like lowest is 125.
Brutal.
Just for the disc itself is like 100. And then there's the typical like, oh, it's a bidding war. So
Right.
only God knows what you would actually get it for.
Were you able to get your screen stuff up, Jeff?
Yeah, I think I can do this. It says
Figuring out
Stream-
live.
it says
Yeah.
like streaming channel. Is that I'm not a Discord guy.
On the bottom, if you go
Oh.
to share your screen,
Live. Here we go.
oh, it says we have to watch the stream.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, then never mind.
I won't worry about it.
We got to see the intro for 3 seconds.
That's fine. All right. Next on the list, going down, is Eternal Darkness for the GameCube.
That was my pick.
Anybody who has played this or watched somebody play this, it has a function in it where every time, like, I think you get hit, not just hit, but like also when you get when you run into bad spooky situations, then the game starts messing up and like pretending that it's like messing with your TV and your colors and the channel and the volume and all this goofy stuff.
I love it.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet back in the day.
I thought that was
That
really
game-
cool too.
That game scared the crap out of me. Like, I remember specifically getting like too scared, especially on the bathtub scene. I don't know how far you've ever gotten in it, but
I've
there's a
watched
part in
somebody
there.
beat it a long time ago, and that was it. I have not seen that game since. I don't remember much else
There's-
about it.
There's been 2 games in my life as a kid where something would happen and I'd be like, yep, nope, we're done with this. We're going to go play outside. And it was Resident Evil 2 and Eternal Darkness. So, hooray.
That one always looked so fun to me, but like it's looking like it's pretty expensive.
I think it goes for like 100, 200 now.
Is it almost $200 for Eternal Darkness?
Yeah, it's
Oof.
getting up there.
That might be a
Let's
load up
see.
the ISO on the Wii kind of
I might
deal. Okay.
might not buy that one, but we'll
I
see.
want it though. That always looked so fun to me. I
Rare,
just never got around to playing it.
rare GameCube games I have a weakness for.
You
Oh,
you don't
it's
have that
actually
one, Zane?
around 50
I
bucks.
don't have Eternal Darkness, unfortunately.
Oh.
I've got all the happy, fun, not scary games on the GameCube, except for our next one, Luigi's Mansion, also
Yes.
for the GameCube.
I'm really hoping that doesn't get picked. Like, I love Luigi's Mansion, but I even talked to you recently about how like I beat that like last month.
Also,
Again.
oh,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know if I want to do that again.
Didn't they just HD remake it?
It's
They did.
on the Switch.
Okay,
Yeah,
might be an excuse
but I
to
have
get the Switch
the
one.
OG.
I
I've got-
kind of wanted to try getting the 3DS OG one.
They did do that, didn't they?
I believe so. Yeah.
feel like that was like one of those like sleeper ones, like in between like Dark Moon and everything. It's like, oh hey, here's Luigi's Mansion 2. And it's like, okay, cool. I got this new one to play.
80 to $110 for Eternal Darkness. Thank you for that.
So yeah,
That's
about
not
the
bad.
typical
I would
collector's price
pay.
of a game.
I could
There's
pay
a roughly
$80.
used one on eBay for a little bit under that, if complete, but roughly used.
Yeah.
Depends on your tolerance for that.
I'll 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 throw a wanted list at chaotic and see what see what shakes out.
Yep.
But yeah, Luigi's Mansion. I've beat that game a lot. I could probably get through that game in a couple days. It'd be fun for my kids to watch it because as soon as I start playing it, they'll ask me to play it or if they can play it. So it'll
I
take
think
me.
the only time I actually played it was I think with you, Zane.
Oh yeah, that was a while ago. We got all the way to the point
Mhm.
where we were hunting booze, and I think we had to call it a night.
Yep.
So this next one is a little obscure. Yeah, I had to say that. Obscure for the PlayStation 2. I think Obscure is also on Steam.
Oh,
Very,
Wow.
very much like a
up here.
top-down isometric horror game. I believe you control several teenagers in this one. I wish I had.
It is on Steam.
It is on
So
Steam.
I
I
wonder how well
thought
this
so.
will play on the deck.
It's on Xbox too.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's on Windows, I see.
The minimum requirements is Windows XP with a Pentium 3 1 gigahertz processor.
Yeah,
I don't know
these
if I can do it, guys.
Obscure 1 and Obscure 2 for the PlayStation 2 are really expensive horror games now.
Woohoo!
They're
Steam
up
it is.
Yeah. You might as well just
Man,
get it on Steam for $7.
what
I could
isn't
just
expensive
burn
is
a
collecting though.
with the hacked PS2s. We might be able to just burn a. Yeah.
Oh, sure. Just get a hacked one.
Hey man, that's getting easier today too with those Raspberry Pi Zero Picos. I did that to my GameCube, so I have that soft. Well, it's not really soft mod anymore. It's soldered onto the board.
I might play this one on OG hardware though.
Do you
With
have it?
No, but I might buy it. Um, it's probably the same as it's probably in the same price range as Eternal Darkness right now. I would think that it's probably gone down a little bit over the last year, but I don't think it's past the $150 price range right now, unless somebody wants to look that up.
What
For which
hasn't
one?
gone down?
Obscure. I know
Oh,
Obscure 1 and 2 are. The cool thing about Obscure, though, is it's also multiplayer, like couch co op.
Ooh, that's
So
cool.
you can play with another person right next to you throughout the whole campaign. And that's kind of one thing I was like, I would like to do this with
Do you
somebody.
remember Resident Evil Outbreak?
Yeah.
I think it was Outbreak for
Yep.
like the PS2.
that had network
It,
play, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
it and it took my brother and I forever to figure it out because we like rented it from Blockbuster, and it still did have local, I think, but it was just like apparently I don't think it was like as good on the
It
local thing. It was
didn't.
like a last minute thought.
I don't remember the local playing well. I remember I had a friend who played Obscure, or not Obscure, Resident Evil Outbreak 1 and 2. He rented them both. And he played through them online a little bit, but it was not great.
Well, he's already the cool kid if his parents let him play games online at that time.
Yeah, he was. That's why we went to his basement all the time. Um, so yeah, Obscure, really good horror game. Um, couch co-op, man. I don't think it gets better than that. But in
With
terms of
the
character games where you swap between teenagers, there's Fatal Frame 2 for the
Oh
PS2.
boy.
Probably the scariest game on this whole list, in my opinion. Fatal Frame 2 is no thank you. Like that game will mess you up.
Oh, it's that one. Okay. I remember my buddy talking about this like when it came out, and he's like, it's the most terrifying. It's the one that you use the camera through, right?
Yeah, the camera obscura used to hunt ghosts.
Yep.
I believe you play as two characters for a bit of it. You swap back and forth. But
Oh
ultimately,
boy.
it's really really good. It just expands on the first game, and it takes the concept of the camera obscura, how you play different types of film that you use to hunt ghosts with. Just the situations it puts you in is terrifying sometimes.
I already feel my blood pressure
It's
rising.
it's a good one. It's a really good one. If you've never
Is
played, go for it.
is the first game required playing before playing the second?
No,
Okay.
no, not at all. And honestly, I wouldn't, I wouldn't chastise you if you just watch somebody else play through it.
That's spooky, huh?
I thought so when I watched somebody play through it. Fatal Frame 2 is pretty inexpensive now too, which is great.
All right.
It's still up. It's still up there. I actually have an old copy of it. Thank goodness.
Aren't they all old copies though?
You're right. Sorry, man. Why you gotta do this to me?
I'm sorry. It was just so punny.
If Fatal Frame 2 gets picked, Jeff, I'm going to your house and we're gonna play it.
I might
Okay.
have to play with my brother like on like our boys' days and be
I
like, yeah,
wanna
no, I
I
can't
wanna
do
watch
this.
you. I would Twitch stream you playing it with
Get
with
the
Joe.
like get the heartbeat monitor and everything on there
Oh,
too, where it
that'd
shows like my heart rate.
be good.
Just immediately jumps up to like
Was
150.
wasn't there a game that actually did use a heart rate monitor?
Yes.
There are a
Okay.
few horror games that do that now.
What is Lifeline?
Okay.
Also Tetris for the 64.
Yeah, there was that. Yeah.
We already spoke about Champions of Norath at the beginning, so I'm gonna skip that one. But Zombies Ate My
And then
Neighbors.
obviously the most spookiest
Mm,
of spoopy games.
I mean,
love it.
top down
That's got
horror
the couch
game.
co-op too.
It
I
does.
got I got the SNES and the Genesis version of those.
Ooh, nice. Instantaneously
So,
makes you super cool, Matt.
right? Actually, I think I have those in the box. Let me grab those.
Oh, you do?
Sure.
It's been a while since I've played either of those games, the Super Nintendo or the Genesis one. How, Jeff, have you played either of them? Is the sound that much different between the two? I think I remember the Genesis one being better.
Thought it sounded
It
like the
depends on your
ones were better.
tastes.
You said the Genesis
Um,
one is better?
the Super Nintendo one has like the samples, so it's a little bit more higher fidelity. You can hear the instrumentation better. Um, but I think with the atmosphere of the game, kind of the FM buzziness and kind of the otherworldly sounds that you get out of the sound chip on the Genesis, I think it might suit the game a little bit better. But I actually like the Super Nintendo version of that one.
I've always heard that the SNES versions were always just better. Like if you think about like Lion King too, the Lion King
Yeah.
Genesis version was just garbage.
It's unfortunate what happened to it. Considering this Genesis has, like, in my opinion, it's got a good sound card to it, or sound
Yeah,
chip.
it's all synthesized like in real time, whereas the Super Nintendo is actually more playing back pre-recorded samples.
That's pretty boss.
Yeah.
All right. Are we ready to? Have any of you guys beaten Zombies Ate My Neighbors? By the way, I've made it to the point
I
where I've gotten to the pyramid, and that's as far as I've ever gotten.
I didn't
We
even know there was a
played through
pyramid
that a
level.
bit.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
there is
that's
a
right. You
pyramid
and I
level.
did,
It's
didn't
just
we?
not the back.
I don't think we beat it though.
Man, it's a tough one. We may have beat it actually, but it's been a while. It's been a long time since I even messed with that. But we're ready to figure out what our spooky game for October is, guys.
In it, I'm ready.
Poop roll, please.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh no!
Oh, no,
It's Fatal Frame
isn't it?
2.
Uh,
Okay,
Okay.
here we go.
it's now gonna be who's gonna be alive at the end of this month.
Yeah, I want to know who's actually gonna play through it. I think Lance is
Oh.
going to, since he suggested it. So
Oh God, is it seriously $120?
it's expensive.
No, this
It's
can't
free
be
if you know
right.
where to look.
Horror games,
I'm
horror
gonna
games
have
are all expensive.
I'm gonna have to sail the open seas here. Oh, $55 for disc
See,
only.
we're not sailing the open seas. We are all playing our legitimate backed up copies. We just don't want to damage the originals.
Right, right, right.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't damage the
See?
originals.
Oh, of course,
Can't.
of course.
Yeah.
All right,
That's what
you
I'm
know what?
telling
Just
you.
bring it over. We'll use that one.
It's
Very authentic,
it's
very
in
legitimate.
great condition too. Everything. So
If I enjoy it enough, I might have to put it on the buy list.
all right. Sorry, champions of Norath. You gotta go back on the shelf.
Back to the shelf.
My PS2 collection is pretty extensive. That's one of my favorite ones to get stuff for. Well,
My
with
family
that,
never really was into that.
I'm excited. Very great, very good. Fire Emblem, Genealogy, The Holy War, and Fatal
Yes.
Frame 2. Both suggestions by Lance. Double whammy.
We
Thank
got
you.
like perfectly
Epic winning.
opposite spectrums of games.
Just-
Fun and shit.
Yes. Get your shit. Get the shit scared out of you, and then cool down with this one, just a little bit. So it'll be
You're gonna
good
need like
times.
a breather in between.
I'm excited.
I'm stoked.
Oh,
Let's go.
oh my god.
Heck yeah.
Well,
Says
good
he needs
stuff.
To get it. This is a reward for playing. This is your reward for playing X-Men legit.
I agree. I agree.
Cool. Well, anyways, everybody, thanks so much for joining us. Those who did, this has been a lot of fun. Can't wait to do episode 2 next month when we get to talk about talk about Fatal Frame 2. We won't be talking too much about the quarterly game, but we will be coming up with other things to discuss in between that time. So this has been a little bit of a longer one than I thought it was going to be, but thank you everybody for sticking with us, and go out and play some games.
It's Spoofy Mom.
Peace.
Later. Peace.